My name's Dave, and in this video we're going to talk about variables and operators. Variables and operators. So in the last couple of videos we've created some variables, but we haven't done anything with them. Remember the green squiggly line underneath the variables telling us that we've got these variables but we haven't done anything with them. So this time we're going to create some variables and actually do something with them. And one thing you can do with variables is use operators. Operators operate, right? They do something. So before we get started, you can see I have a console app again, and I named mine variables and operators. You can name yours whatever you like. And if you go to Solution Explorer, just double click on program.cs. It will open up this file. This is in the document window. So the document window, you'll see a method called main. This is where the program starts. Again, if you don't know what a method is, don't sweat it. We'll talk about methods later. But you want to get in between these curly brackets. So you can click here to the right of this opening curly bracket. Click here and then just hit enter. Alright, so you want to get in between the curly brackets. So I'm going to go ahead and declare a variable. Try to spell it right. And we'll do it a little differently this time. This time I'm going to split it up into two parts. So first I'm going to declare the variable. So I have this variable called number. The label or the identifier, the name of the variable is number, and the type is int. The type is int. So you can only put an int. I got this box. You can only put an int type in there, right? Try to put a string in there or anything other than an int, a whole number, within the range, negative 2.1 billion to positive 2.1 billion. Anything outside of that range, or a number with a decimal, a string, a char, a boolean, anything, try to put anything other than ints into this box, it's going to buck, right? But I've done this on one line. And the next line I have the assignment. So I've got the declaration in one statement, and I've got the assignment in a second statement, right? So I have two statements, two separate statements this time, right? Remember before we were combining the two, right? We have the declaration and the assignment, right? We're combining the two. But you can, and I'm pressing Control Z, and just undid what I just did. Or you can also go to Edit, Undo, and you can see the shortcut is Control Z, and that's what I use a lot. Control Z. Control Z is your best friend. So we have ints. We have a declaration. I'm declaring a variable, a box, right? And putting a label on it called number as my identifier or name. I'm declaring that you can only put an int in there, of type int, just a whole number. And the variable here, I'm assigning the literal 15 to this box. I'm dropping this literal into this box, and this is what the equal sign does. And it's an assignment operator. An assignment operator. It says assign what's on the right to what's on the left, and that's what I'm doing. So this is the same thing that we've been doing. It's just this time we're breaking it up into two different statements, right? And which is not necessary if you know what you're going to assign. So in this case, it's kind of pointless. It's preferable, I think, to have it on one line, to have it on one line in this case, because we know what we're going to assign it. But what if we don't know? What if we don't know what value we're going to drop into that box, right? And sometimes you don't. Sometimes it depends on some kind of condition, right? Something, maybe a user input, or it depends on something. And in that case, we would just declare the variable, and you could even give it a default value. 0. 0 is the default value, actually. So here we're just doing it explicitly, right? Explicitly means we're doing it ourselves, but the default value is 0. So Here you just have a declaration of a box, and you have the default value of 0 in that box. And then later on, depending on whatever it is, you can assign a value or drop something into that box. So, but I just want to point that out, that you can break this up into two different statements. So let's move right along. Let's do something with this variable. Okay, so I have now several statements, and I'm assigning different values to this variable number. But off the rip here, I have a red squiggly line. What's this about? Right? What's going on here? It's barking at me. Only assignment, call, increment, decrement, and new object expressions can be used as a statement. So basically, we're missing something. It's basically what it boils down to. So what are we missing? We're trying to assign this to this, and it's barking at me because I'm missing the assignment operator. The assignment operator. Actually, I had that highlighted, and then I pressed space, and it deleted it. Right. So I hit Control Z to undo. So okay. So now I just added the equal sign, which is an assignment operator, and now it's okay. All right. So okay, so let's look at this first statement. Number, which is our variable that we've already declared, and we've assigned it the value of 15. So it already has a value of 15. And here it's number plus, using this plus sign. It'll take a while to guess what the plus sign does. It adds two numbers together, right? Just a plus sign, just regular old plus sign. The asterisk or star is the multiplication sign operator. These are called arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators. So that is the multiplication. The minus sign or hyphen is the subtraction operator. And this is the division. The forward slash is the division operator. The division operator. So this divides 42 or 7 into 42, right? So we have this first statement, number equals number plus 10. So basically what I'm saying is not multiply, but add 10 to whatever's in number, whatever's in this box. We got this box called number, right? So take out whatever's in that box, whatever happens to be in that box, whatever it is. Take that out and add 10 to it, right? Just add 10 to it. Take whatever's in this box called that's labeled number, right? And add 10 to it, and then assign that back to that box. So I'm going to take the number 15 out of that box, right? I'm going to add 10 to it, which will give us 25, and now I'm going to put 25 back into the box, right? Okay, so the next line, we're going to multiply 36 and 15. So just multiply 36 and 15 and assign that to the variable number, right? And this is just going to overwrite what's already in there. It's just going to, it's going to throw away what's already in there. It's going to multiply 15 and 36, and it's going to drop that into that box, that variable, right? Here we're saying 12 minus, and we want to use the parentheses, because if we don't use the parentheses, then we get a whole new, then it's 12 minus 42, whatever that is, divided by 7, right? So the parentheses, and just like in algebra, the parentheses help make it clear what to do first. So here we want to do this division first. And remember the PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So the order of operations. So we want to do this first. So that's why we have it in parentheses, 42 divided by 7. And whatever that is, then we subtract that from 12, and then assign that put that in the box, in our variable called number. And here's something a little different. We have the plus sign equals. Plus sign equals. This is actually a shortcut. This line, and drawing tools, this line and this line are exactly the same. Both of these do exactly the same thing. This is a shortcut. And note here, you have to type the number, the variable name in twice. So we got number here and number here. And the shortcut is it's just a short way to do the same thing, right? So it's exactly the same thing. So this is saying, take whatever's in this box called number, this variable. Take whatever's in there, and add 10 to it because of the plus sign. Add 10 to it, whatever you get, and then assign that back to that variable. Right? Drop that, whatever the result is, drop that into the box, right? Called variable. So this is just a shortcut for this. Right? This is a shortcut. All right. So this is just a shortcut. That's all it is. Both of these are exactly the same. Exactly the same thing. Yeah, these two, this is exactly the same as that. So it's just a shorter way to do the same thing. And here, the same. This is just a shorter, and another drawing tool. This is just a shorter way to do the same thing. And this, actually, let's write this out the long way, just to clarify. Number star 3. Number star 3. So this is what that line is doing, right? So that's just a shorter way. We said number. Take number. Whatever's in that box, that variable. Take that take it out. Take that value out. Multiply it by 3, and whatever the result is, assign that back to this variable, right? Or this box, right? So, but this is just a shortcut. So star equal sign. It's just a short way to do the same thing, right? So in this, take a wild guess at what this does. Divides 3 into 71. Whatever the result is, assign that to this box, right? This variable. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to introduce you to something called debugging. Debugging, and as you probably can guess, debugging is for debugging. It's to debug the program, figure out what's wrong, troubleshoot, if you will. But it's also a good learning tool. It's a great learning tool because you get to see what's going on step by step in the program, line by line, statement by statement. So the first thing we have to do when we debug, when we want to run the debugger, is or we want to step through the program rather, then we want to set a breaking point. And I just clicked to the left of the line numbers. I just clicked, left click. Right. You could also select the statement and F9 to do the same thing. So wherever you, and this is saying this is where I want to stop. So I can F9, or I can just click over here wherever I want to stop. This is saying I want the program, when I run this program, when I click this green start button and run the program, I want the program to stop right here. Right. That's all I'm saying. I want the program to stop right on this statement, on this line. I want it to stop, right? So it's going to run up to this point. When it gets to this point, it's going to stop. The program is going to come to a halt and stop and wait for me to step through the program. So let's go ahead and run it. And click on the start button. And there we go. So it's stopped right here. This program is running. We're running the program. It's already started, but it's stopped, and it's waiting on me to do something, to step through it, right? And the way we step through it is we use these buttons up here in your toolbox, or in the toolbar rather. And if you don't see these, you can go to View, and it should be, actually I'm not sure offhand, View and Toolbars, right? Toolbars, and you should see, I believe it's the debug. So you just click on that if you don't see these these buttons here, right? So these are the buttons that we use. The first one is step into, and you can hover over these and it'll step into. Also F11 is a shortcut. Step over, which is the one we'll use here, and step out. We're not concerned with step into or step out now. We'll talk about those later. So the only one I'm going to be concerned with right now is step over. So that just says go to the next statement, go to the next line, and execute that line. Just go to the next line and execute that line. So that's all we're going to do right now. We're just going to use that step over, and we can. You have this window at the bottom called locals, and we can see the variables. This shows us the variables, right, as they are in the computer's memory. So we can actually see the variables right here in this locals window. And if you don't have the locals window, you can again go to view, and you should be able to find it there. Other windows maybe, and or it could be some of actually it's in debugs. For the debug windows, you go to debug windows, output, locals, watch. We'll talk about watch in another video. Locals here, so if you don't see it, and you have to be running in debug for some of these to show up. So we're running the program, so if you don't see locals at the bottom, just debug Windows and click on locals, and this should show up. Alright, so we have this locals window, and this shows us all the variables, right? And in this case, we only have one variable. We have this number, and don't worry about this args. We'll talk about that later. So I have this one variable that I've declared called number, right? And it's giving me the value. This is the value. So this is the variable, the name, right? The name of the variable, the label, identifier, what have you. And this is the value. The value is 0, right? And the reason it's 0 is because it gave it the default. I didn't assign it anything here, and it gave it a default value of 0, right? A default value of 0. And look over here, we have the type, right? This is the type of data. What type of data is it? It is an int. It's an int, right? So it's given us the name of the variable, the identifier, and it's given us the value, which right now is 0. So if you look in that box, we're looking inside the box called number. That's what we're doing right here. We're looking in this box called number, and there's nothing. There is something in there. It's just 0. It's a 0 value, and that was the default, right? And the reason it has 0 is because I didn't assign it anything here, right? We just declared it, so it gave it that default value of 0, right? Give it the default value of 0. So we have the name and the values, which is 0 right now, and the type is int. It is an int type, right? So let's keep stepping. So I'm going to click on step over, or you can do F10. F10 is the shortcut. I'm going to click on step over, so that means go to the next line and execute. But basically execute this line and then go to the next line. So click step over, and now it executed that line and went to the next one. And you can hover over the variable names too. See, number, this variable now has a value of 15. And I'm going to go ahead and dock this locals. Click on push pin to go ahead and dock the locals window. And okay, so the variable number now has a value of 15, right? It's a value of 15. And let's go ahead and continue stepping over. And now it has a value of 25, right? Okay, so now the variable, or the box, now we have 25 in this box, right? So the number is our box, our variable. So this is our box in the computer's memory, or variable. This is allocated space in the computer's memory. And the label is number. That's the name of our variable, or our identifier name. The value right now is 25 because it took took that 15, right? It took this 15. We dropped that 15, that literal 15, into that box. And here it took that 15 out and added 10 to it, right? Which gave us 25. So now we have a value of 25, right? So let's keep stepping through it. So here it just multiplied 36 by 15. So 36 times 15 is 540, right? 540. So that's it assigned that it multiplied these two numbers together because of that operator, the star, basically. All right, the star, or the multiplication operator, multiplied 36 and 15. And the result was 540, and it assigned 540 into our box, right? So let's keep on. Let's keep stepping. So here, 12 minus 42 divided by 7. So it divided 7 into 42, got the result, right? And it did that because of the division operator, right? And then subtracted that from 12. And again, you can hover over your variables to get the value, right? So you're here, the result is 6. The answer is 6, right? Okay, so here the value is 6 now. So let's keep stepping through. And so here we took the numbers was 6, right? The value was 6. So this says take whatever's in that box, add 10 to it, and then assign it back to the box, right? So it's just a short way of doing the shortcut for this. Same, these two lines, same, right? So we just added 10 to 6, that gave us 16. So now the number, the variable holds a value of 16. And same thing here, or same basic thing here. We're using the shortcut, but in this case we're using the multiplication operator, right? So, and now we have a value of 48. So it multiplied 16 by 3, which is of course 48. And now the number variable, the box, holds a value of 48. So let's step through again, or step over. Now 71 divided by 3 is 23, right? Actually, I think it's 23 point something, 23.66666 or something like that. But this is an int, right? It's an int data type. So it only takes a whole number, so we can't assign an int variable a number with a decimal value. So it basically truncates the decimal value. So 71, 3 goes into 71. I think it's 23 times. So 3 times 23 is 69. So there's a decimal value there, or there's a fraction, and it's just basically truncating that. It's just cutting that off because you can't put a decimal value number into an int type, right? So it just truncated that and gave us 23. So 71 divided by 3 is 23, right? So we have the value of 23 in this in the variable number, right? So there you go. There's sort of an introduction to variables and operators.